Welcome to mortgage calculation case number 1 with Robert Klein. So what we're going to do is we're going to take someone who makes $60,000 a year and we're going to determine what the maximum mortgage that they can afford. And then what we're going to do is going to factor in how much a mortgage a person's going to be able to get if they have a car payment and also credit cards. So for this, we're just going to go right to an example. Alright, so what we're going to determine now is what is the maximum mortgage a $60,000 income can get us. So I'm going to make an assumption that we have excellent credit, and that's going to allow us to use 44% of our income to pay for an overall monthly payment. So 60,000 times that by 0.44 is $26,400 a year, or $2,200 a month. So let's just make this simple, $2,200 a month. So let's assume that we want to go and get an apartment. At $2,200 a month, we cannot use the $2,200 a month amount to figure out actually our mortgage. We actually have to do some reductions. And the first round of a reduction that the bank's going to want us to do is to take off our taxes. So that for an apartment, maybe $1,200 a year is fair, so we might just take $100 a month off for taxes. Now, we will then have to pay something called strata. And strata maybe on average is $250 a month, but most banks will give us a half credit, so they'd only want us to finance half of that. So 250 divided by 2 is 125 or $125 a month for strata. Then they want us to pay for some heat, $85 a month. You're probably thinking, well, $85 a month is pretty expensive for an apartment. Well, you can go tell them that that's what they want. So let's determine what is our maximum monthly payment that's left over for a mortgage. And it's $1,890 a month. So we have $1,890 a month allowed to pay for our mortgage. What I'm going to assume is we're going to go get a mortgage at 4%, like a 5-year fixed, and we're going to pay it over 35 years. That means our maximum mortgage that we are legally qualified to get is I'll round up, $427,000. So that's not bad for 60 grand income with excellent credit. But let's say for example, we have a car payment. How does that factor? Well, the car payment has to be factored in our monthly debt load. So let's say if our car payment was $400 a month, we'd have to take that off our $1,890. So now the bank is only going to allow us $1,490 a month for our maximum mortgage. So at 4%, 35 years, we are now able to acquire, so change the payment, calculate $337,000. It's almost a $90,000 gap of property that we could own just because of a simple car payment. But also another debt that comes in a lot is credit cards. So let's assume we have a credit card of $10,000. The bank is going to make us pay 3% of that a month, regardless if we are or not. So $10,000, that means our monthly payment for that would be $300 a month. So we have to deduct that, and we're left now with $1,190 as the maximum amount we can borrow. Sorry. So at 4% for 35 years, oops, it's already set. So $1,190 is our new payment. Calculate present value. And now it goes down to $269,000. minus 427. So by having these two payments, it cost us over $158,000 worth of financing. Here we're living in downtown, here we're living in New Westminster, just because of these two parts. And this is why it's important to talk to a mortgage broker before you even start to look at purchasing property. You got to know your overall finances, and more importantly, you have to know how the bank actually looks at you. So from this video, we really determined that it makes a lot more sense to understand our financial position before we actually go out and look at property.